Hey, folks. So today I want to share one about my late and great friend, Mr. Tomas Garza Jr. He was quite the character, and one of my favorite antics was all the different personas that he had put on. So, a little bit of background about Thomas, for those of y'all hadn't seen him or seen him in pictures. He was of mostly Mexican descent, and he looked the part. He had the dark tan skin, the dark hair, and all that. But make no mistake about it, he didn't speak Spanish. But that didn't stop him from some of his characters he would play. He would pretend that he could speak Spanish as long as he was around girls that didn't know any Spanish. So he would make up some fake sounding stuff to sound cool in front of these girls, and they would just eat it up. Well, he developed this into a character named Reymundo Garza Cruz. Uh, he used his real last name in the fake character. I don't know why, but my friend did a lot of things I don't understand. But anyway, Raymundo was this cholo dude that was an ex-gang member from San Antonio, and he would turn it on sometimes if we were in some sort of social setting where no one would ever see us again or know us again or anything. Well, this really reached its prime peak a couple years in when we had this thing arise. So, mind you, this is early social media era. This is early cell phones era. This is pre-smartphone. This is mid-2000s, kind of MySpace time. And I've got this girl that's been texting me, and she's all right, but I'm really just not feeling it with her, and I'm really just not that interested. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get rid of her in a nice way. And so I'm sitting there, and she's still blowing my phone up, and Thomas is like, dude, I got an idea. And so he texts her, and he says some really rude, obscene things to her. And she's like, who is this? And he's like, oh, hey, it's Seth. I want you real bad. Well, Seth, I don't know who you are, but you need to leave me alone. And then he's like, watch this. So then he gets on there and he texts her again, hey, who's this? And she says, Seth, I told you to leave me alone. He goes, Seth, this is Raymundo. Seth's my stupid cousin. What is he telling you? And she says, he was very inappropriate with me and said some very dirty things. And he's like, I can't stand him. He's my stupid cousin, and I'll whoop him for you. Trust me, I will defend your honor. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Ray. Then a couple of days goes by later, and he texts her, yeah, I can't believe that my cousin was like that to you. I would never treat a woman like that. That's so pathetic. I can't stand dudes like that. They're such cowards, just being rude and perverted to a lady like yourself. Oh, I'm a lady. And so then she gets all impressed. He texts back and forth a little bit, and he weaves his tale of Raymundo to this woman. And he lets her know that he's from San Antonio. He was in a gang, but he moved up to East Texas where we were living to get away from the gang life. But he had a baby mama up in Dallas with his daughter, and he was having a lot of trouble with her, and it was always an ongoing thing. And so he had this girl hook, line, and sinker. And then finally, she decided she wanted to actually go out on a date with him. Well, so I helped Thomas get his makeup and everything ready. We put together his little cholo outfit. He's got his little flannel shirt with the top button and it's hanging. And we even put a little fake tattoo on his neck of his daughter's name and everything. And he proceeds to date her. And this goes on for a series of months. And she's even got her little text message signature, for those of y'all remember those, and it says Te Amo Ray on it. And this becomes a full-blown relationship until Thomas finally starts to kind of get bored with it. And his previous off-and-on girlfriend, they were kind of off and on quite a bit, she finally decides that she's ready to take him back. And so he's like, okay, I'm done with this goofy little texting relationship, flirting with this girl, going out like to dinner with her every once in a while. I'm ready to go back to my real girlfriend. So he decides to kill off his character. During this little short-lived romance with this girl, he managed to somehow tell her, I'm guessing it was a little hard for him to keep up the Ray too much, so he told her, hey, if you want to, my nickname is Thomas. Idiot. He told her his nickname was Thomas. Just call me Thomas for short. So anyway, he has me text her from my phone because we have to kill the character off now because he's getting ready to go back to his real girlfriend now that she's going to take him back. And I'm texting him, and this is what he's texting her, and this is what he's telling me. Hey, I wanted to let you know Ray/Thomas, he got into some trouble. His baby mama talked a lot of crap to him, and her new boyfriend said he wasn't going to let him see his daughter. So he went up to Dallas and acted a fool and got into it with him, and he's now in jail waiting for trial. And he's probably going to be facing some time because he really messed up his baby mama's boyfriend over this because he loves his daughter so much, and he wasn't going to let anything keep him from him and his daughter. So he wants you to know that he loves you, and he always will love you in some form or fashion, but you're a good girl, and it is at his core, he never could get past his old life. He's just a thug. He's a gangster. You deserve better than this. So please go on and marry a good man, and just always remember the love that we had together. And it worked for a while until me and the real Thomas decided to go to Walmart one day. And now, granted, Thomas had many different characters. He could be a little wannabe cholo that was from one horse, 400 population, East Texas. And he could also be the faux hawk sporting good Charlotte bowling for soup listening to wannabe skater dude. And then he could also be the I want to be a bull rider walking around with cowboy stuff on too, just depending on what mood he was. And I can kind of respect that, the many faces of one of my best friends. But this time he was in the skater mode, and we were in Walmart, and we run into this girl, and she sees him, and she goes, Ray? And I look at him, and I'm like, Thomas? And she's like, he is Thomas. Thomas is Ray. And we're like, oh. And she starts screaming at him, and we just turn the other direction, and we leave. I get a barrage of texts from her. He gets a barrage of texts from her. All I got to say is, thank God this was the era of MySpace and not the era of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the rest of these social medias. Well, so we had a good laugh about it. We got out by the skin of our teeth. And as most of y'all know, love him or hate him, unfortunately, Thomas did pass away in 2012. And I think this speaks about his character more than anything. This girl and her husband at the time actually showed up for his funeral to pay their respects. And when I spoke to her, she actually kind of giggled a little bit and said, y'all are idiots, but that was pretty funny. I don't know if I'd call that catfishing. I call that fake dating. Thank y'all very much, and we'll holler at y'all soon.